Okay, so today we kind of the last episode of my trying to teach you first whatever. So this is basically the roof overall strategy. I gave you all the little building blocks to build the foundation. Now we set the roof to build a beautiful house. Um, and once we've done this, there's nothing stopping you from keeping yourself dry and warm inside of your house. Well, I'm talking way too much. Let's jump into it. So my strategy, MTH, manipulate demo host. It's my strategy by Summerson, aka Big Funded Max OG. Quick little overview. Starting off with the building blocks ranked. So the building blocks I already did my videos about. I'ma just put them on the screen again and rank them for you to know which one is the most important in the strategy and kind of see them again. Then quick why and how, why would it work and how does it work. The proof that it works, that the strategy works based on my um, data I collected over the past year now. Two chart examples. I don't like going on the chart directly because it switches up my whole setup from, doesn't matter. So I'm a backtest the past 4 months, so you don't have any excuse not to trade this strategy.com. So I already did that. Over the past 3 hours, I backtested the 1st of September because kind of where I ended my um, backtest session. So the 1st of September to February today now. Yes, I collected that data. Hardest period of the year to trade. But yes, and I'm gonna show you a proof of that too. So let's jump right into it. Starting off with the building blocks. So you probably know it from school, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then strings with these little lines I drew. You have to rearrange them in order to get the right um, ranking of what is important, what is not so important. So like you, I already did it. So the most important building block is the 4-hour fair value gap for the bias. I already did the video to that. We have a video of that. Yes, 5-minute break structure is the break structure on fair value gap, so nothing to that. Yes, 5-minute break structure for the bias, the most important because if your bias is right, you already know where the market is going. You just have to know when the market is going there. And these two building blocks, they help you um, also get an idea of when it will happen. So 4-hour fair value gap for bias, most important. If you don't have a clear 4-hour fair value gap structure, market price action, you don't trade. If this is given, you then drop down on the lower time frame on the 5-minute and look for a liquidity sweep of the previous session. So London high or low, depending on what your fair value gap is. So there are two ways we can trade the 4-hour fair value gap, either a retrace into the fair value gap or reaction out of this fair value gap. There are the only two ways we trade the 4-hour fair value gap. Moving forward to the third point, this is the 5-minute break structure. So once we know where the market is going, once we know the market kind of has everything done, everything set and ready for it to go that way, we just now wait for the 5-minute to break structure and to ensure that our bias was right. So the 1 to 1.5 risk to reward is just a thing I noticed myself. Inside of that range I can keep, inside of this range I don't feel any emotions, or well, I don't feel any connection to the outcome. If I do get more, I always think about the outcome. So this is just a way for me to cope with my emotions. As well as that, enter straight after the breaker structure. Maybe kind of weird for some people because we often wait for a retracement to get a better entry, but for me, if the 5-minute broke structure, and even though there's a big gap and a big value gap, I will enter straight after the breaker structure. There are two reasons for that. The first reason is you kind of transfer your responsibility over to your strategy, so you don't have any time to have emotions involved or to think about it. Maybe this trade is good, because if those building blocks are given, the trade most likely, well, in 70% of time, will hit take profit. So for you to think, it just makes everything worse. So enter straight after break structure is also a way for me stick to my strategy, to purely stick to my strategy, and don't um, listen to my emotions and maybe breaking my trading plan. So these two are just things I noticed about myself, and I implemented them into my strategy so they are set and I can't make mistakes that include greed, emotions, or overthinking, fear, everything like that. And as well as basically every strategy, risk. For me, it is very low risk, because um, I notice that the more I risk, the more emotions are involved, the more I am pissed off over the day if I lose a trade, the more I don't give a shit if I lose the next trade. So high risk, I can't cope high risk with high risk, so this was the reason for me. Very low risk. Those are the building blocks. This is the ranked, like they are ranked like that, and it's very, very important you keep this ranking like that, especially the fair gap on the first one. Most important. Be heavy on that. So quick why and how. For the 4-hour fair gap for buyers, so see where the market is going. Pretty self-explanatory. Liquidity sweep. Big money needs contradicting orders to move the market. That's just, yes. I don't want to go into detail. If you want to know what that means, look my liquidity sweep video up. 5-minute break structure. So the 5 minute is to we wait for the 5 minute to ensure if my 4-hour bias was right. Basically, 1 to 1.5 risk reward prevents greed and bad win rate, because yes, the higher my risk reward goes, the lower my win rate was. So enter straight after break structure. As I said, no time for emotions, and you kind of give up the responsibility. From now on, everything is said and done. Now I can turn my head off and let my strategy do its thing. That's kind of how I think about it. Everything until here. Alexa, was heißt Pflicht auf Englisch? So everything until here is my duty to like be correct on everything and like that. And as soon as we hit this enter straight after break structure, kind of like turn my emotions and my thoughts off and just let the technicals play out itself. And very low risk, like I just said, no emotions, no fear, no greed, no revenge, all of that just vanishes. So proof that shit works. Those are this is my book where I trade, where I journal every single fuck what it's called trade I take. Yes, it should be 104 till there. It should be 104. So I think those are about 110 trades until here. Average win rate is 74%, I think, with a risk reward of 1.28. Here two chart examples, just so you kind of get an idea. For our time frame, we have this fair gap. We are currently in this fair gap. This is the 5-minute time frame. London high, New York opens. We sweep London high. This is the local liquidity sweep. Break of structure straight down 1-to-1, as well as here. For our fair value gap, currently in this fair value gap, so we trade the reaction out of this fair value gap. In this fair value gap, London low got swept. We broke structure with this candle closure. 1-to-1 risk to reward. Take profit was London high. So yes, I think now you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. And moving forward, our backtest the past 4 months, so you don't have an excuse not to trade this strategy.com. So those were the trades I took over the past 4 months. I think they were, so I think I took about 4 months, 25 trades, 6 trades a week. So there are, I kind of would say, 1 to 2 trades that are maybe not right, but yes. So I backtested it. It still works even though we are currently in Trump season. The end of the year is, for me personally, the hardest part of the year to trade, and still the strategy has a positive win rate and a positive risk to reward. 64% win rate, 1.05 risk to reward. Those this year is all of these trades combined with them. My strategy, and this is the 64% win rate, so 64% win rate, average risk to reward of 1.05, 8 trades a month, 100k account, risk is 1.5 risk per trade. Tell me how much I make in a month. Okay, only the least profitable period of the year, you still make 4% every month in like average, and close to 50% in a year with one account. Like I said, those are 4 months. The year has 12. Those are for me the hardest to trade, and that's basically it. So overall, my win percentage, or the win percentage of the strategy I showed you, is 71% with an average risk to reward of 1.28. If you want, you can do the same math I did here for these trades. You can do the same math for like every trade, so you kind of get an idea. It is a profitable strategy. I did everything. I even did the back testing for you. You just now have to implement it and get the market experience acquired to kind of see these off setups. Let me call it like that. But yes, that's it. I have to think about my next videos. I am pretty hyped. We're gonna see.